Hello, everybody. I wanted to send a video out on the new residential listing agreement. I know I sent one out a few weeks ago. Actually, had some proper training on it today, so I'm attaching if there was any changes revised as of today, uh, listing agreement that's coming out, and I'll be attaching the PowerPoint presentation on it. So just wanted to give you guys that information. Obviously, this is going to be ever changing, so this could change again. When I say ever changing, is some of the disclosures. There's 11 of them that were supposed to be coming out that are not coming out yet because they're still getting looked at by the by CAR. So in any case, with the listing agreement, here you go. What has changed? You're going to see it in the PowerPoint presentation. It looks like a grid now, just like the purchase agreement. The RPA looks like this too, so kind of you get confused. I did in the beginning, but it's the listing agreement. So the listing agreement, the RPA, and the new BRBC are all have like the grid format, so it kind of has everything plopped in here. This obviously is taking consideration the compensation. So let's see here. Max listing is for 24 months, which I've never seen a listing that long, 24 months. But some of the changes, A1, that is where the listing period is to and from and the list price. We do have only 2 days to put it on the MLS, so just FYI. Let's see here. Going down to C1, this is where all the compensation fun stuff starts to happen. So C1 is our compensation as the listing side, what we are charging. So let's say 2.5 points, we would put it there. Now B is only checked if, let's see, optional additional compensation to seller broker. That's additional compensation. We don't have any updates on what that would be. That might actually be going away. Let's see here. Additional compensation. Let's see. On C3, it's if they're not represented. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around here. So C3 is if they're not being represented. So if say somebody comes in an open house and they don't have any representation, we're going to have what the seller is going to be paying us on that as well, even though technically we're going to be doing both sides. But that might be a different commission that they're willing to pay if say somebody, I guess, came to us unrepresented, which doesn't make sense because C4 is if they're represented by, we're representing both parties, then it's going to be right here, what our total compensation is right here. So, so C4 is compensation if we are a dual agent. So that's going to be going there. So it's giving the sellers the option of what they're going to be paying us on different scenarios. If it's just a listing, straight, just doing the listing right here. If there was a buyer that came in with no agent, right here, or if there's buyer, if we're doing both sides. Because remember, we can be, just because somebody comes with no agent, we could be just the agent for the seller. We don't have to be agent for both, especially if they're not going to be paying compensation on, let's say, the person coming in, which I don't really see this going to be happening too much, but they got to throw it in there as well. C23 is if they're unrepresented. And with that, there's other forms that you'll see on the spreadsheet, or I'm sorry, on the PowerPoint presentation, that there'll be, there's a BNAA form for non-agency, so that would be that. So I'm so sorry. So C2 is gonna go away because that's gonna be for the other agent. I'm so sorry. So C2 would be for the buyer's agent, which that's gonna probably be going away because that doesn't defeats the purpose of why this even happened. So 4A is going to be for us on the listing side. 4B for now is going to be if they're willing to pay anything to the buyer side, which is probably going to go away. C3 is if they come in unrepresented, and 4C2 is if they're doing both sides, and 4C1 is if they're basically giving them a breakdown of all the what they're paying. So fun times. C26. Let's see. Oh yeah, continued right compensation for identified prospect buyer. So If we put in, let's say the listing expires or something, we put like 60 calendar days. As long as we have documentation of who wrote the offer in the property, and we have proof of it, we can still get paid on it if the listing does expire and they do go with that other person or that other buyer. That, let's say, for instance, our listing didn't expired and they didn't want to extend it. So that's that. Let's see here. 2D. Let's see here. Just kind of going through what we went through. 2D. Optional seller concessions. This is a fun one. This is we check that if the seller is willing to give some sort of concession. It's a little dark right here, but it's either going to be percentage or dollar amount. You do not have to. The seller does not have to put anything in here at this time because maybe they're going to want to wait for the offers to come in. But if you put optional seller concessions, check that right there if they're willing to give any concessions. Put it right there. Okay. Now that could be for concessions for any closing costs, buy downs, or even commissions, but obviously we're not putting commissions here. So it's just obviously talking to your seller, letting them know. I'm sure a lot of people already know selling their houses, the new changes. So it's just giving them the option to give some concessions, quote unquote. If they're open to it, boom, right here. Let's see. 2E, I'm not going to go into those ones. Ones are excluding from the items excluded. It's not really a big deal. 2G, I think 2G, I'm going to scroll down here. Presentation of offers. It's right here. So most of the offers that we get, unless otherwise in writing, we present them as we get them. So that's going to be in G1. G2 is an interesting one here, is the love letters, they call them. So seller instructs broker not to present buyer letters. Those are the ones that when people submit purchases, they want a letter, picture, and a little biography of the family and whatnot. So basically it's defaulted on not providing that basically we do not want to see that. Or if they check it and they want to see the bio of the person, if they send one in, then we supposedly are supposed to advise against that. So however you interpret that, some sellers would like to see, for instance, if it's family or who's going to be buying it, a fireman, a police officer, or whatnot. So that's really for the seller's discretion if they want to be seeing any of that. Investigative reports, G3. It's defaulted as an NHD, is going to be ordered by the seller within 5 days. If there's anything else on here, roof inspections or pool inspections or septic inspections, homeowner association documents, if it's HOA, we'll be checking those within 5 days. We'll order and pay for any reports. So like below, structural pest control. So I guess other would be termite inspection. H1, seller instructs broker not to take or use photographs in marketing except as required by MLS rules. So that would be like, check that if they're like going, you know what, I don't want any pictures, and you're like, well, I got to do one picture for the MLS, so that would go right there. Okay, compensation 4D2. Oh, where is that here? Compensation to broker, you guessed it. They're going to be putting that in here everywhere. Compensation notice, seller not required to pay buyer's broker compensation. So they're spelling it out in this area right here. Also to authorization to offer compensation to other brokers. That's the one where if they checked up at the top here, if they're willing to give any credits. So it's right here. And this is just basically this page right here. The next page 3 is going to be a bunch of scenarios of compensation. They don't have to pay it, all that fun stuff. So it's going to be here. It's good to read. It's just I think it's going to get them more confused, but it's supposed to make more sense for the people. On concessions, you'll see it on the print or the other attachment, but on the seller's concessions on the MLS, it's already in there. Drop down, it's either yes or no, and again, you don't have to put any amount or percentage yet. You can leave it blank. I would advise leaving it blank. You could also put in a dollar amount there as well, but that's where that goes. You'll see it on the paper. Let's see, paragraph 6. Where's that at here? Paragraph 4, paragraph 6. Items included and excluded. So just clearly identify if anything's going to be excluded from the listing. Always, for instance, if there's a, I guess, the example they used, a chandelier that you're going to take with you. Good practice would be to maybe remove it first and then put something from Home Depot on there. So at least the buyers don't think that it's going to be in there if somebody forgets to omit that from the offer. Okay, paragraph 7. Also, where is it here? Multiple listing services. Let's see here. No offers of compensation. Okay, there's just a bunch of stuff just going back and forth about compensation. That they don't have to do that, but we would advise to do so. It's in here. Paragraph 9 will be about marketing the property. Right here it is, public marketing of property. Reminder to the people that do those, go into somebody's listings and do videos and whatnot. You need to have, especially more so now, clearly the listing agent will allow you to be doing videos for the property, and you're supposed to be putting them down as the listing agent as well anyways if you're doing videos. Paragraph 10 on here, MLS data on the internet. Another reminder too on the listing, you cannot put on any website anywhere any commissions that are going to be given. So for instance, on the MLS, we're not putting any commissions, but let's say you have a personal website and you're saying, yeah, the seller is willing to give $10,000, $20,000. That is going to be a violation, and each violation, I was told, is $2,500. So they're not playing around about this. Anything with commission and all that, they're not doing that here. Paragraph 12 here, brokers and sellers' duties right here are presenting offers. Everything kind of like redundant. It just keeps going over and over again of stuff they filled out, let's say on the top, but since it was written out, this is going to be written out. This is the writing portion of it. Let's see here, deposits. We don't accept deposits anymore. It goes straight to escrow. Agency relationship is number 14. Interesting, a new form that's coming out. I think it's a good one to use. Should be with the new ones coming out today or tomorrow. There's an open house visitor non-agency disclosure sign in. So for instance, if we're doing an open house, it's going to be form number, I believe, what is it called here? OHNA. That's going to be for the people to sign in, and this is going to show they're supposed to write in who their agent is or not. So if somebody comes in your open house, you can ask them to sign that. They don't have to, but they should. And if they do have an agent, they go, yeah, I have an agent. That's cool. Put their agent's info down on there. So if something comes about, we make sure who's and what, all the agents, because, if they submit an offer. And also, too, on offers, to remind you, we do need to have all the, you need to be asking for the last page of the C, what was it, the BRBC, the last page for the buyer's agents, showing what their commission is that they are charging, because remember, we cannot pay them, or they cannot be paid any more than that's on their BRBC. So we can always counter offer the last page for the BRBC. It's designed so it is put there what the percentage of the commission is, so they can show it to us. Listing agreements are to be in effect up until, August 15th or 16th is when the date of the change officially is on the MLS. For sure, the commissions will go away on the MLS, although they will be still honoring the commissions that are going to be paid if the deal's in escrow. But if it falls out of escrow, things change, and I think that's one of the 11 disclosures that are being withheld. Is that one of them is about what happens if after August 16th we're not even in escrow, but we have a valid listing agreement. Are we going to have to redo the listing agreement? So stay tuned for that one. It's might be an addendum, or they're going to have to redo the whole thing. We don't even know yet on that one. So stay tuned if you have listings that haven't sold before then, or take a listing. Don't wait till after the fact to take the listing. You want it now. Hopefully, with the ones prior to this August 16th date, they'll just have us do the one-page some sort of addendum for that. So another thing interesting from the meeting is, so in terms of commissions, we're 100% able to call up the agent and ask them straight up, is the seller willing to give any compensation to the agent? And we can ask them, and if they say yeah, I mean, they might not give us a dollar amount, or they may or may not, but we can have it verbally between two. So if you call somebody up, agent up, and they go nope, they're not willing to do anything, at least for your buyers, because they're on the hook, right, on the BRBC of paying your commission. So obviously you'd want to have to deal with, if they don't have the money, a seller that's willing to give money for closing costs, and your as a buyer saying that's considered a closing, that's a cost. So you're able to call the agent up, hey, are you giving 2.5? If we give the right offer, yes or no, you'll get a vibe from that and go from there. Let's see here, listing agreement, everything else you'll see pretty much the same. Scrolling down, you can read that on your own. Let's see, management approval, number 21. So right here, management approval. If an associate, licensing broker, office salesperson, or broker associate entered into this agreement on the broker's behalf, the broker manager does not approve its term, the broker manager has the right to cancel this agreement in writing within 5 days after its execution. So gives me the right to cancel it if something doesn't seem right. I need all the new listing agreements and purchase agreements. Let me check them out. We're going to probably be doing that for a while until everything kind of settles in. We just want to make sure everything's done correctly. So send them over to me when you get them, please, as soon as possible. Let's see. Entire agreement, number 24. All prior discussion, negotiations. You're going to read that one. So that's a new change right there. So other than that, this, like the handout's going to say, this information is accurate as of today's class. So it could change. But I wanted to give you guys an example of it. And if you wanted to come print out a copy of it, take a look at it, start studying it. I'll also send over, I'm going to go check it out right now. If the disclosures are out, I'll put them on this as well if they are out, or if I can, as an example. So if you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you later.